Hi guys! Welcome back to ABC General Hospital Spoilers channel. Today we will learn about the dramatic fallout surrounding Drew Cain's recent spiral, the urgent question of who will care for Scout Cain, and the mounting calls for Alexis Davis to step in as her guardian. This accelerating tragedy intertwines power, betrayal, and family responsibility as the complete, expanded story unfolding across Port Charles. Tensions are rising as the community grapples with Drew's escalating threat level. Many locals have voiced a pressing concern: should Alexis Davis assume full legal custody of Scout? As Alexis's niece, Scout is increasingly being overlooked as Drew descends into a path of manipulation and vengeance. Hospital colleagues, mutual friends, and even some members of the Quartermain family believe Alexis should initiate legal proceedings immediately to adopt Scout and provide the stable environment she desperately needs. Some town residents argue that Alexis has quietly enabled Drew's ambitions in recent months, focusing on Christina and her lavish lifestyle instead of Scout's emotional needs. They suggest Alexis must shift her priorities from pampering Christina to protecting Scout. If Alexis fails in that duty, they say perhaps Monica Quartermain, with her wealth, legal savvy, and emotional investment, she'll take charge. Rumors swirl about potential custody hearings and whether Drew's endeavors might soon crumble under his own hubris. Drew's recent behavior has fueled these concerns. In his quest to reshape the power structure of Port Charles, he's purified his ambition into obsession, wrapping himself in manipulation, dark alliances, and blackmail. He's not only rattled the foundations of the Quartermain legacy and Corinthos empire, but he's also made enemies across the political and power spectrum: Laura Spencer, Sonny Corinthos, and House Ashford among them. He's become singularly focused on revenge, like a dark mystery man hunting down those he deems traitors. And now, whispered threats suggest Drew might snap. There are rumors he is planning an inside ambush, possibly involving a firearm, targeting two of his most prominent adversaries. Some insiders believe he's poised to strike during a high-stakes meeting, intending to eliminate key figures in one fell swoop. Though details remain unclear, Port Charles police forces confirm that authorities are investigating threats tied to Drew's recent activities. If true, this escalation inkling premeditated murder would almost certainly land Drew behind bars. Local legal experts say that once he is charged and convicted, Scout would become legally available for adoption. That opens the path for Alexis to petition legally within weeks, provided proper probate documents and affidavits from guardians, doctors, and family members establish a safe environment. Scout supporters say that in the wake of such tragedy, Scout deserves to be raised by Alexis, not just due to lineage, but because Alexis offers stability and ethical clarity. They note Monica has an impeccable record of guardianship, but Alexis is closest by both proximity and maternal attachment. The contrast between stable justice and Drew's volatile self-interest is growing starker by the day. Behind closed doors, Michael Corinthos and Sam McCall have offered efforts to help, but Michael is battling grief over Drew's betrayal, and Sam's commitments at the floating clinic leave her stretched thin. Port Charles Medical Center has begun mental health evaluations, contributing testimony that Drew is exhibiting signs of danger, insomnia, aggression, and delusional justifications for his vendetta. On Drew's side, whispers circulate that he's considering a facility in another country that houses ex-military factions. That would widen the bloodshed, but experts caution that it may be a bluff, as Drew is rapidly burning through resources. If his plans to destroy his enemies fail or succeed, only Partialite may become isolated, desperate, and broken. At that point, he could collaborate with either allies or traitors, at which primetime legal authorities could intercept him before further harm occurs. Back in the Quartermain mansion, Monica has quietly begun reviewing Emily Quartermain's old trust documents and looking into ways to secure Scout's immediate future. She's spoken with legal counsel and plans to file temporary guardianship motions in civil court. If Drew is charged, and there is credible witness testimony and investigative evidence, that motion could be granted immediately. Scout's friends in school have noticed her becoming increasingly withdrawn in the wake of news about Drew and the hospital chaos. Teachers report she's often tearful when something reminds her of Drew, like hearing a gunshot or mention of a shooting triggering flashbacks to chaos. Students have expressed concern, and school counselors say Scout needs safe and nurturing care. In private, Alexis is trying to face the painful truths, her longtime loyalty to Drew, and her neglect of Scout's emotional needs. She is fully aware of the moral obligation to act swiftly. She's also prepared to challenge Christina's claim to the family home if necessary, focusing on what Scout needs rather than family traditions. This tumultuous chapter forces the show to confront deeply emotional questions. When does love cross into obsession? When does family loyalty become dangerous? And who is truly fit to raise a child when trust has been shattered so deeply? If Drew is arrested for the first time for premeditated homicide, Scout's future hangs in the balance. A court would need to decide quickly, but the most likely candidate for guardianship, Alexis Davis. Many in Port Charles are already calling on her to rise to the occasion. Next, we will uncover the intriguing hints pointing toward a potential reunion between ex-lovers Harrison Chase and Willow Tate, exploring the emotional undercurrents that could reignite their past connection and reshape their futures in Port Charles. As the soap opera landscape in Port Charles continues to shift with unexpected alliances and heart-wrenching conflicts, subtle clues are surfacing that suggest Harrison Chase and Willow Tate might be on the cusp of rekindling their once passionate romance. Fans have long remembered the genuine spark between these two, forged during simpler times before betrayals and life-altering secrets tore them apart. Now, with Willow's world crumbling under the weight of recent scandals and Chase facing his own domestic storms, the stage is set for a dramatic comeback. Imagine clandestine glances exchanged in the hospital corridors or chance meetings at the local park, where old affections simmer just below the surface. Invented whispers among the nursing staff hint at Willow confiding in a colleague about lingering dreams featuring Chase, adding a layer of forbidden longing to her already turbulent life. This potential pairing not only promises to stir up jealousy and rivalries, but could also force other characters, like Michael Corinthos and Brooke Lynn Quartermain, to confront their roles in the unfolding drama, potentially leading to explosive family showdowns that echo through the Quartermain mansion. Focusing on the week of August 4th to 8th, Willow Tate is poised to redouble her efforts in mending the fractures she's caused, particularly in her strained relationship with Michael Corinthos over access to their children. Picture Willow, her eyes brimming with desperation, arranging a private ambush at the family estate, where she pours out her pleas for Michael to reconsider his firm stance on visitation rights. Michael, still scarred from the avalanche of deceptions involving Willow's hidden actions, might dig in his heels, insisting that she hasn't demonstrated the emotional stability needed to be around Wiley and Amelia without supervision. This tense standoff could escalate into a raw exchange of accusations, with Michael recounting the pain of her betrayals in vivid detail, leaving Willow feeling more isolated than ever. To heighten the stakes, an invented subplot might involve Willow clutching a handmade drawing from one of the kids, using it as a poignant prop in her appeal, symbolizing the innocent lives caught in the crossfire and tugging at Michael's paternal instincts even as he resists. It's in this charged atmosphere that Harrison Chase could inadvertently stumble upon the scene, his detective senses alerting him to the heated words as he overhears Michael's harsh rebuke of Willow. Spoilers indicate that on the August 6th episode, Chase will ignite a fierce confrontation with Michael, likely transforming into a protective shield for Willow amid her evident anguish. Envision Chase stepping in with authoritative poise, his voice steady as he challenges Michael's cruelty, drawing from his own deep understanding of Willow's maternal devotion. Having witnessed her unwavering commitment to motherhood firsthand during their shared history, Chase might argue passionately that denying her this bond is not only unjust but potentially damaging to the children's well-being. This defense could be laced with personal anecdotes, like recalling a time when Willow selflessly cared for a sick child in their past, reinforcing his belief in her core goodness despite recent missteps. Furthermore, Chase's intervention might be colored by his own unresolved yearnings for fatherhood, amplified by his sterility diagnosis that has cast a shadow over his dreams of building a family. Complicating Chase's motivations are his private struggles. as he grapples with the inability to conceive naturally and the fresh blow of Brooke Lynn Quartermain's hesitation to proceed with their adoption plans, perhaps due to her own career ambitions or lingering doubts about their readiness. This delay could unleash a torrent of suppressed emotions for Chase, manifesting in restless nights and heartfelt confessions to a trusted friend like Dante Falconeri, where he admits the ache of unfulfilled parenthood. In the heat of his clash with Michael, these feelings might bubble up, positioning Chase as a sympathetic ally who views Michael's restrictions on Willow as unnecessarily punitive, especially when contrasted with his own longing for any chance at family life. To add inventive depth, Chase might reference a fictional support group he's been attending for those dealing with infertility, drawing parallels between his pain and Willow's current separation from her kids, which fuels his determination to advocate for her. This stance not only highlights his empathy but also sows seeds of discord in his marriage, as Brooke Lynn overhears snippets of his fervent defense and begins questioning his priorities. As Chase emerges as Willow's steadfast champion, this development could herald significant turbulence, given the writer's subtle hints at fractures in his union with Brooke Lynn, setting the scene for Willow to potentially exploit this vulnerability. Willow, ever the survivor, might seize the opportunity to draw Chase closer, portraying him as her knight in shining armor and subtly weaving compliments that evoke their romantic history, perhaps through accidental encounters where she shares vulnerable stories of her isolation, with Chase's heart still harboring a soft spot for Willow from their days of genuine love and shared dreams. Reigniting those flames wouldn't require much persuasion. A simple touch or a tearful thank you could stir dormant passions. Invented elements like Willow sending Chase a thoughtful gift, such as a custom badge engraving symbolizing protection, could accelerate this pull, blurring the lines between gratitude and manipulation as she angles for leverage in her custody battle. Given the collapse of Willow's engagement to Drew Cain amid revelations of deceit and the growing cracks in Chase's marriage, the groundwork for a full-fledged reunion between them appears increasingly plausible. Their past connection, built on mutual respect and deep emotional intimacy, could resurface in tender moments, like a late-night coffee where they reminisce about old adventures, leading to confessions that bridge the years apart. Yet, questions linger. Would fans embrace seeing Willow and Chase as a couple once more, perhaps evolving into a stable force amid Port Charles chaos? Or might Chase merely serve as a strategic piece in Willow's quest for custody, with her affections calculated rather than sincere? To invent a fresh angle, spoilers could tease a dream sequence where Chase envisions a future family with Willow, complete with imagined children, heightening the romantic tension and leaving viewers to debate the authenticity of any rekindled bond. Next, we will learn about the surprising cancellation of Kelly Monaco's anticipated Tell-All podcast, leaving fans of the beloved Sam McCall character yearning for answers about her dramatic departure from the show. In a twist that has sent ripples through the General Hospital fandom, Kelly Monaco, the talented actress who brought the fierce and resilient Sam McCall to life for over 2 decades until the character's shocking demise last October, has pulled the plug on her planned collaboration with Shauna Moakler for a podcast titled Bad Bunnies. This development comes as a major letdown for devoted viewers who had been eagerly awaiting Monaco's unfiltered perspective on her abrupt exit from the ABC soap opera. Months earlier, excitement built when news surfaced of Monaco teaming up with Moakler, a fellow Dancing with the Stars veteran and former Playboy playmate, to create a platform where no topic would be off limits, promising juicy insights into the entertainment industry's underbelly. Fans had pinned their hopes on this venture as the perfect outlet for Monaco to address the circumstances surrounding her firing, especially after she hinted at deeper issues behind the scenes, to add a fresh layer of intrigue. Invented reports from industry insiders suggest that early promotional materials for Bad Bunnies included teaser clips of Monaco alluding to behind-the-scenes power struggles at GH, which only heightened anticipation before the sudden halt. The disappointment among Monaco's supporters is palpable, as they were counting on the podcast to finally deliver her side of the story following Sam McCall's untimely death at the hands of the vengeful Cyrus Renaud during his rampage. That also claimed the life of Dex Heller. having portrayed Sam with such depth and passion since joining the show over 20 years ago. Monaco's firing sparked an outpouring of grief and activism from fans who launched petitions and social media campaigns demanding her rehiring and a miraculous resurrection for the character. After all, soap operas are no strangers to characters defying death through clever plot twists like long-lost twins or elaborate faked demises. Imagine the online forums buzzing with theories, from fans speculating about Sam's potential return via a dream sequence reunion with Jason Morgan to others mourning the loss of her dynamic storylines involving family ties and romantic entanglements. This cancellation feels like a second blow, as Monaco had publicly vowed to share the truth, perhaps revealing untold details about creative differences or interpersonal conflicts that led to her ousting. Inventively, some fan groups have started virtual watch parties revisiting Sam's most iconic episodes, using them as a way to cope while holding out hope for Monaco's voice to emerge elsewhere. It appears the Bad Bunny's project fizzled before it could even launch, metaphorically stumbling right out of the starting gate, much like a hare losing to a steady tortoise in a race of endurance. Sources close to the situation indicate that personal challenges Monaco is currently facing have forced her to step back, preventing the podcast from moving forward as originally envisioned. Shanna Moakler, in a candid update, explained that while she respects Monaco's need to prioritize her well-being, the show must go on in a revamped form, with Moakler now partnering with Claudia Johnson to create a new iteration that unfortunately excludes Monaco and the Nothing is Off Limits promise that had fans so hooked. This pivot means listeners will miss out on Monaco's first-hand accounts, which could have included reflections on her time dancing through high-stakes storylines on GH or navigating the pressures of long-term soap stardom. To invent an additional element, rumors swirl that Monaco had prepared a list of episode-specific anecdotes, like the emotional toll of filming Sam's near-death experiences, which now remain untold, leaving a void in the narrative fans craved. Nearly a year has passed since the leak of Monaco's dismissal from General Hospital, a move she described as retaliatory, fueling speculation about underlying motives such as network politics or storyline shifts that sidelined her character. Monaco's commitment to transparency was evident when she assured fans she would spill the details, perhaps shedding light on how decisions from the show's executives impacted her career trajectory after such a lengthy tenure. Yet, as time drags on, those revelations seem no closer to surfacing, leaving the audience in a state of prolonged suspense akin to a cliffhanger episode that never resolves. Envision Monaco in reflective interviews from the past, where she spoke glowingly of her GH family. Now contrasted with the silence surrounding her exit, fans are piecing together clues from old cast tweets and behind-the-scenes photos, desperately trying to decode what went wrong. This ongoing mystery has only amplified calls for accountability, with some inventing fan fiction scenarios where Sam McCall returns as a ghostly advisor to her loved ones, symbolizing their desire for closure. Compounding the intrigue is the question of Monaco's next professional move, as many expected her to land a role on another daytime drama by now, given her proven talent and fan base. Is she deliberately selective, holding out for a project that aligns perfectly with her vision, perhaps a primetime series or an independent film that allows creative freedom? Or could the whispers of retaliation have created hurdles in the industry, making casting directors wary of potential drama? Fans are divided, with some praising her for taking time to heal and choose wisely, while others worrying she's been unfairly sidelined in a competitive field. Invented buzz includes sightings of Monaco at industry events, networking with producers from rival networks, hinting at possible comebacks like a guest arc on a show such as The Young and the Restless, where she could portray a character echoing Sam's toughness. Ultimately, the big unknowns persist. Will General Hospital enthusiasts ever uncover the complete tale of what prompted Monaco's firing? Or will they be forced to rely on speculation and incomplete puzzle pieces to form their own conclusions? As the soap world turns, this real-life saga mirrors the on-screen twists fans adore, keeping the conversation alive through podcasts, forums, and social media. Whether Monaco eventually breaks her silence through another medium, perhaps a memoir or a solo interview series, anticipation builds, reminding us of the enduring bond between performers and their audiences. Stay tuned to our channel for any updates on this evolving story and more GH insights that keep the drama flowing.